Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video that is kind of a witchy show and tell, catch you up to date on my daily practices, some updates, and throw some favorites in there throughout. It's been a little while, I've been really busy, so I thought this would be a fun little video to get out there. I didn't do one in March, so this will be a March and April video. I guess let's see, what I've been doing lately with my practice, we'll start with that, is I have really been diving into doing full moon SBAT altars and really reestablishing with that full moon energy each month, and the changes that occur each month. So inside my witchy space here that I have been using an altar to, connect with the energies and the colors and all the different things that correspond with the full moon SBATs each month. And I've really been enjoying that. So out in the other part of my house, what I've been doing is using the mantle place as an altar space for the SBATs or seasonal changes. So that way in one spot I'm connecting with each of the full moons, and in the other spot more the seasons of the year. So I've really been enjoying that. On my altar space in here each day, I recently got one of these, and it is definitely a favorite. I gotta tell you, it fits 3 tarot cards on there, and I've been looking for the perfect tarot stand, and this has been absolutely perfect for my daily pulls. I'm loving it. For my seasonal altar, out on my mantle, right now we're in spring. I love spring. This is one of my favorite times of year. And it's just been a lot of fun. And I found this gorgeous crystal egg at a thrift store, and it opens up. You can fill it with stuff if you want to, or with a spell, anything. There's so many different things you can do with this vessel here, but it is just gorgeous. This is definitely one of my favorites. So this is a piece that has been on my seasonal altar out in the main part of my house. I've been loving that, absolutely. I have some notes down here because I've just been so busy. Keep my mind straight. I want to make sure I go over everything I want to share with you guys today. What else have I been doing? For my daily practice, I kind of have a new practice from what I've been doing in the past, and I've used some of the things that I've been doing before, but I've really been coming in, clearing my space, either with some sage or Palo Santo or something like that. I might grab an incense stick that represents an energy that, I want present in the space, and really clear the space out. And I've been logging daily. I think I might have mentioned this in the last video. I've been logging daily in my Book of Shadows, the different moon phases, and using the alchemical symbols, and I'm loving that, and I've kind of expanded on that because I loved it so much. So I'm putting the date and the time and the moon phase and what astrological sign the moon is in and what element it's associated with, as well as logging the temperature and the weather and the seasons and stuff in there as well, and also adding in my 3-card spread, my cards of the day that I've been pulling every single morning. So I've been doing that, and then sometimes journaling on top of that, depending on what I have going on and how much time I have in the morning. So that has been a lot of fun. I have found lately, let me show you, that I've been loving these, I think they're B5 journals instead of A5, which is the smaller ones that I'm typically used to using. I've been using these B5 size journals for more of my Book of Shadows, grimoire, garden journals. So any of my really important journaling journals, I'm really finding I love this size. I got this in one of my subscription boxes. I think it was an Archer and Olive, and I had never used this size before, and I fell so much in love with it that I decided to get another one. This one's blank, so I can show you. This one is a little bit less expensive than the Archer and Olive, and it is the Leuchtturm journal. I usually use their A5s. I love their A5s for study journals and things like that. And it's really a nice size, and the paper's good. I love the size of this journal now. It's definitely one of my favorites. So what else do I have? Daily practices. So since we're on journals, I'll go ahead and let you know what journals and stuff I've been using a lot of lately. So this is actually my Book of Shadows, so I'm not going to show you inside of it, but I've been using that a lot, as well as I have started a new gardening journal, which I hadn't really been doing before, but being in this new home and we're starting to put things in the ground, it's springtime. Last year we planted a cherry tree, and this year we're going to be planting a second cherry tree. So I've really been journaling about that and the progress and how the plants are looking and things like that. You know, it's really kind of fun to see the progress, because like when we moved into this house, there were 4 trees that unfortunately 2 of them were planted so close to the house that we had to cut them out. It's pretty sad. I don't like taking out plants at all, especially trees, but they were just literally butted up against the house, so we had to dig them out by hand. The first year we were here, I think we've been in this house almost 2 years now. And then last year there was another tree in our front yard that had like a fungus on it, so we had to cut that one out, and we replaced that with a cherry tree. And then the other tree that was left in the front, it attracted nothing but wasps and just really nasty, you know, the wrong kind of bugs. So we are in the process just now, starting this last weekend, of digging it out by hand. And I don't know if you guys have done any gardening like that, where you've actually had to by hand dig a tree stump out of the ground. It's a lot of work, a lot of dirt. But I've been using this journal to do that. And it kind of leads into another one of my favorites that I wanted to show you. And I'll show you the first page of this book. So one of the pages of this book, so you can see, is I got a Canon printer that prints these little photos. And I'll show you the printer. I have it here. It's fantastic. I'm using it for journaling in general, for my garden journaling, because I can take pictures of the plants. Like this year, the one picture I just showed you was the first cherry blossoms we had on that tree. We planted it last year and it had a really hard time, but it made it through, and it now is flourishing and it's looking great. But the printer, it's just an Ivy Canon printer. I mean, you can see how small it is. It's like the palm of my hand. And this whole top just kind of pops off to put the printer paper in it. I'll show you guys the size of the... So it just comes in these little packets, and you can put them in there. I think there's like 20 sheets of film at a time in the little packets. It doesn't take any ink or anything like that. I think they call it zinc paper, zero ink or something like that. But it has an app that links to your cell phone, and you can download the photos right off your cell phone into the app. And you can modify them and change them, and, you know, add borders and things like that if you want to do that, and words on top of it. It's really kind of neat. And then you just turn this on and it prints out your picture. The color is not 100% spot on, but it's good enough. It's been fun actually using it for the garden journaling and my tarot journaling as well. So sometimes when I do my 3-card spread, I might take a picture of it and stick it in my Book of Shadows. You know, I usually write down what the cards are, but sometimes I'll stick a picture in there. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a little pricey for just, you know, a fun little tool to have, but it really is a tool I'm finding very helpful for my journaling. So, you know, if you want to splurge and treat yourself to something, that's what I did with this. It was a kind of little splurge on myself that I like to do from time to time. So there's those. So I've been using for journals lately, I've really been digging into my Book of Shadows, my garden journal. I have my tarot journal that I recently did a video on. This is a study journal. So I usually will put my tarot readings, personal readings, in my Book of Shadows, but this tarot study journal basically is where I'm learning more about the cards. So I'm a very intuitive reader, and I have a very basic, you know, I have a good basic understanding of all the different cards and their symbolism, but this is helping me to do a deeper dive. So it's brand new. I haven't really used it that much, a couple months, but for instance, if I pulled like one day the Justice card, I'm putting down in this what the card was on that day. So I have some actual practical experience based off of the cards I'm pulling for the day that kind of link to the definitions and the meanings of those cards so that I can remember them more. So what the cards meant for me on that day in those scenarios, I'm putting those meanings in this book to, you know, basically build my tarot vocabulary, I guess. But tarot is one of the main forms of divination that I do, and so I'm always finding new ways to dig deeper and learn more, and I've been loving this book there. The other thing that I couldn't live without is my daily planner. So this year I went with a Hemlock and Oak weekly planner, and let me see if I've got a month in the back that isn't filled out yet. I am really loving this planner. For the things that it doesn't have in it that I like a year ahead spread, there are enough blank pages in the back where I have been able to fill out an entire page for, say, the month of January, for like each month. So I can put all my special dates, my anniversaries, my death days, my birthdays, special appointments, moon phases, all those things for each month I can put on a single page. But what I love about this is similar to a Hobonichi, it has these this vertical layout of the days. You've got a little space on the side where you can put some goals and stuff, or put a little mini tracker in there, which is what I do. It's kind of a glare on there, so I don't know if you can see it. But I really love this format because I'll put any holidays or moon phases or birthdays and things up in this top section, and I can fill it out, and you've got more space at the bottom too for notes. It's great. I absolutely love it. And in the beginning of each month on their planner, it's got, you've got a full month spread, right, that you can fill out. I usually fill them out as the months come up. I don't want to show you guys really the other ones because I put a lot of personal stuff in my planners. I put a lot of witchy stuff and personal. I kind of mix everything together in here, but it has, you know, like some stuff at the beginning of each month for intention setting and goals and self-care, things you want to solidify that month, and a blank page. And then at the end of each month, it also has like a kind of wrap-up review section. So if you like the Hobonichi style planners and the paper is just a little too thin for you, or you don't use the extra daily pages in the back, this Hemlock, it's got a glare on there. Let's see, Hemlock and Oak is what it's called. Their planners. I believe they also have an undated one. I like their dated planners. So this is the 2023 weekly planner. It's fantastic. I'm loving it. And the other one I'm using regularly, especially right now, springtime, my some lines a day. So I use these. See if I can find a page that doesn't have anything on it. It's kind of hard because I used it all last year. In the back by the end of December. I have a hard time journaling because I tend to be really busy. But that's the 5 some lines a day, you know, so you've got each one of these is a different year. So the top year, last year was the first year. This is the second year I'm using it. And I use this because I also do bird divination. I use this to write down the birds I'm seeing in my area, or if I'm out and about and I'm seeing, you know, where I'm at and what birds I'm seeing, as well as some other intuitive hits and signs and symbolism that synchronicities and things that I'm seeing. I kind of use that to jot these down. If it's really something significant, it also gets noted in my book of shadows. But for just an everyday keeping track, and sometimes I put the weather in here as well. So some of the things I put in here, I put in my book of shadow too, but this is just an everyday kind of, you know, log to keep track of things. And I really love it. It's been a great little journal. This one is a Luchstarm one. If you want something that doesn't say some lines a day, just, you know, Google a 5-year journal. There's a lot of them out there. Or you can take a blank journal and create one yourself. What else? Practice, spiritual practice. So it's hard to share some, you know, witchy practice stuff with people that is just because it's personal in nature. And so a lot of times I don't think people, when they start practicing witchcraft, realize a lot of it is personal work. You know, it's shadow work. If it's not shadow work, maybe it's about finding joy in things, but really getting to know yourself and grow through things and heal, and just being the best version of you that you can be. And then that kind of spreads out into all of your magic and spells and witchcraft and manifesting things. So for me, one of the things that I do that I can share is I usually have a word of the year, and one of my words for this year is warrior. And at first, you know, at the beginning of the year, I wasn't quite sure how that word was going to play out for my year. And I'm pretty much aware now, if I wasn't aware before. For me, it's very much not so much the glory aspect or the victory aspect or the being the hero type aspect of warrior. For me, it has been very much in the mud, in the dirt, in the training, in the learning. It's very, how do I want to say it? Overcoming obstacles and finding things that you thought you dealt with and that were all done, and then they pop up again and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to do some work here, and you do some deeper healing. So I've been going through a lot of that this last month. It's been really busy for me, and I've had a lot of unexpected obstacles and things to kind of work through and grow through and take care of, which is why I haven't had as many videos up, but I should be back on track for this next month. But that's just something to expect too, especially if you're a new witch, is these things will come up. Being a witch isn't always easy because a lot of it is looking at yourself, and it's learning and it's growing. And that takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of just bravery and really just getting in there and being willing to face your fears and do things. That's not always easy, but you know, things come and they go. And I mean, I have just had amazing things happen since I've become a witch that, you know, I'll take the hard times. I'm not afraid of the hard stuff. I'll take it, but it comes up sometimes. You're learning lessons, you're healing, you're growing, and it's just going to make your practice that much better. And that is the really important work to do. So that has been main part of my spiritual practice, has just been going through stuff this last month. I will say, if you find yourself in a situation, I have found one of the best things to do is just take care of yourself. You know, make sure you're eating healthy or meditating or doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourself and allow yourself to learn and heal and grow. you know, and just be good to yourself. That's what I can say. And the other thing I have is grimoire pages. So I am almost done with my next set. It has taken me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, partly because I had a lot of other personal stuff come up, but they're almost done. I am really hoping to have my next pages done within the next week or two at the latest. So it is moon phases, and I've put a lot of work into it. It's only a couple of pages long, but it's packed with information. I want to make it a really good resource that is a quick, easy resource, but packed with information and super useful to both a newer witch and also someone who's been practicing a long time. So as usual, once I finish those, I do like to do a YouTube video to share it, and I actually read through all the information. And then I post it onto my Etsy store. And for anybody who is interested, I also have created a Patreon page that if you wanted to support, you can go on there. And I post the pages to that Patreon page as well once they're completed. But I do like to provide the information on YouTube for free because not everyone can afford, you know, to spend on those kind of things. But I want to make sure I put it out there for everybody. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks at the latest, we'll have that. So some moon phase information for you all. Let's see, I already went over my journals. I guess tarot decks. You guys want to see what decks I've been using? Tarot and Oracle. I haven't really been using any Lenormand decks the last 2 months at all. I've kind of got a little bit of a push to get back into them, so maybe next month. But a lot of tarot decks. I'm going to show you guys first my favorite new deck. I know a lot of people have been showing these online and on YouTube because it is just a gorgeous deck. So this is Midnight Magic. I did do a flip through video of this if you want to check that out. It's in my tarot flip throughs playlist, but I'll go ahead and just show you a few of these cards. If you haven't seen this deck yet, it is absolutely stunning. I'm loving working with it. So here we go. I'll just flip through and show you some of these cards. Hopefully, oh, there we go. I think it's focusing. And there's a lot of symbolism on here too. Like the border is different for all the suits and it kind of matches, you know, whether it's fire or water. And they did an excellent job of matching up the different types of mushrooms and what they represent and what they do, how they're helpful, or the environments they're in, and matching them up to the cards. There's a lot of thought and work put into this. They did a fantastic job. The little booklet is helpful. Even if you don't usually use the little books that come with decks, it's very helpful because it gives you information, a little bit of information on the type of mushroom. Like it may only be a sentence or 2 or 3 about it, but it's enough to know a little bit about the mushrooms themselves, and then to do more research. I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, you can find it inspiring and then go down that rabbit hole. You know, if you come across a meaning of a certain mushroom and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta know more about this one. It's all about that for me. I mean, the learning is never ending, and then putting it into like some sort of practical application in your life. It's just the way I live. Let's do one more. King of Pentacles, gorgeous card. I mean, it's just a beautiful deck. I absolutely love it. The little booklet too, I'll show you guys. I want to say this is not that expensive either on Amazon. It's got color pictures. So the major arcana are full page size pictures, and then the minor arcanas are a smaller picture and 1 page per card. with the information, but they are color. So very, very nice, high quality deck. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite new deck right now. This is the one I've been using for my daily polls. I don't think I told you guys that. So for my daily practice, for my tarot polls, what I've been doing is a energy of the day. And then after I pull the card of the energy of the day, I pull a card for something to release or let go of that would be beneficial for my greatest good in dealing with the energies that are present in that day. What can I let go of? And then the other card I pull is then what can I embrace or work on, you know, something positive that's going to help me for that day. And the other deck, I'm already opening it, I didn't even show it to you. A lot of you know this deck, but it is the Light Seers Tarot. I found myself pulling this one quite a bit throughout the month. So it is also just another gorgeous deck. I love it. I get a lot of really good symbolism out of this deck. Being an intuitive reader, these ones that sometimes, these decks that sometimes can be a little bit more busy, I actually find that helpful for intuitive hits. That is a great image for Eight of Swords. I love that one, looking in the mirror with the, yeah, that's great. I love that card. I mean, I don't love getting that card in a reading, but I love the imagery on that card. Yeah, the imagery in this deck is just gorgeous. I love it. So that's one of the other tarot decks that I've been grabbing the last couple months to use, is the Light Seers Tarot. And then the other tarot deck that I have been gone back to and grabbing is the Wild Unknown. So this one has been around for some time as well. Love the backs on there. It's like dragon scale. This one's like ink artwork, and it's got some color in it as well. Another gorgeous deck, one of my favorites. And I've really been, oh, it's got some reversed. I didn't, anyways. They didn't reset this deck after the last time I used it, so it's got some reversed cards in there. But it's a gorgeous deck. I love it. And I've been using it a lot lately. I did try recently. I really tried. I was going to try and do a certain deck for a season, or a certain deck for the month, the moon phase that we're in. And I just find that's not really working for me. Intuitively, I get pulled to a deck to use for my daily polls, or I get pulled to a deck to use, and so trying to match up my decks with the season or the moon phases, I just haven't found that's really worked well for me. I use a deck as long as I use it, and then until a different deck is calling to me to use it. So those are the 3 tarot decks, and then I have a couple oracle decks. This is one of my favorite oracle decks of all time, the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle Cards by Colette Baron Reed, and I haven't used it in a while. It is a very simple oracle deck. It's got 52 cards. It's got a good amount of cards, but I love it that it's not like a hug deck, right? So for those of you who don't know, a hug deck would be a deck that just gives you nothing but positive messages. Sometimes we need that. But this one has other things in it as well. So there's a card that's fear. We got the Lady of the Lake. Here's another one. So it's got positive and negative cards. The Goblin. Look at that face on that guy. It's great. Several different artists in this deck. So if you're someone that likes a deck that has one artist, this does have several different artists in it. It's a great deck. It reads so well. I mean, it's just one of my one of my favorite oracle decks. Let's see what else we have here. So then we've got like the eagle. So there's animal symbolism. Then there's, oh, here's one. Then there's 4 cards that are the elements, and they're fairies. So you've got animal symbolism, and then you have what they call these different marker cards, and this one represents movement, so like different actions. Here's another marker card, mystery. I have seen an older version of this deck where all of the marker cards that had the different symbolism, like here's a disruption, movement, mystery, so that would be what they're calling a marker card, because it's like a trail marker, like a path you're going down. In an older deck I saw in someone's video, I think it was V11 Crystals, she did a flip through of this deck, and all of the marker cards had the same image on them. The version of this deck I have, I mean, as you can see, they're all, you know, different images, and I really quite enjoy it. Here's another quote unquote, I think, marker card, trust. So they got different images on them. The version that I have is I think this is it's a Hay House version of the deck. Let me see if it's got a date on it, just in case. I think any of the newer versions that you get are going to have all the different pictures on the cards. Mine was a copyright 2007 Colette Baron Reed. It's Hay House though. So I think the other version was not printed by Hay House. It was printed by a different company. So one of my faves, those are the backs. They're not reversible. They don't really need to be because they've got positive, negative cards in here. One other oracle deck that I have been using, I've really been using more tarot than oracle lately. I kind of go back and forth, but is this cute little deck that I got in the Witch's Roots box. I think it was just this last month, April, that we got this deck. But it's a cute little deck. I'm really liking it. It's got these cute little pictures on there. And then they have sayings on them. So like this one says, honor your commitments, be loyal to your soul's longings. This is where you will find joy. And it has the picture. And you have another, show you a few of these. It's a cute little deck. This one says, it's easy to love and accept the light side of yourself. It takes courage to acknowledge and love the darker side. Yes, very much. Very perfect picture for that too. So this is just a great little deck. I love these little decks. They're fun. Great to add a little extra something to your tarot card daily polls, a little motivational. I would say this one's a hug deck. I mean, it has some, like that last card I just read, you know, love the darker side of yourself, you know, so that's, it's got some different comments in there like that, but most of it is really high positive type messages in them. Okay, sorry this video is long. It's been 2 months since I did one of these, so what else did I have written down here to make sure to go over with you guys? Favorites. I have, oh, actually I got one more witchy practice thing that's actually not like internal personal work and actual like spellcraft type stuff that I've been working on. So one of the things that I started working more on is like potions and liquids and things like that. And this here is really easy to do. So for those of you out there, if you've got a lot of mirrors in your house, which I do, one of the common ways to make a household cleaner for your mirrors is to use white vinegar and water. So it's like, I think it's like 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water or 4 parts water or something like that. I'm sure you can look it up online. I usually just look it up before I do it. It's been a while, but I think it's like a small amount of vinegar to a much larger amount of water. And vinegar cleans very well, and it's very common use of, you know, vinegar and water to clean mirrors and glass and things like that. So what I've done here is I have taken some white vinegar and put some specific herbs in there for the magical use that I want, and sit it in there and just to infuse the vinegar with it. So you can put it in there for like a month. This one I've actually had sitting for 3 months. So it's right now at this time, I'm gonna finish it, strain the herbs out of it, and then I'll have this vinegar that is, you know, got all the magical infusion of the herbs in there to add to some water, which you can also do further infusions, like add water infusion as well, like boil herbs in a pot for a certain set of time and let it sit, and put a small amount of that as well in your cleaning water. I don't do that. I mostly use infused vinegars to make magical cleaning sprays for my mirrors. So that is probably the most stereotypical witchy thing that I've done in 2 months, is make this infusion. So much else of everything I've been doing has been very much meditation and personal growth and just dealing with stuff. I haven't really had that much time really to read that much either, but I did finish 1 book, and the book I finished was Ancestral Tarot by Nancy Hendrickson. I cannot recommend this book enough. This book is fantastic. She's got a lot of really good information about ancestral work in general in here, as well as some fantastic spreads. I've done several of the spreads in this book. I love them. They're great. It's a fantastic book. I'm really glad that I read it. It's one that I will probably reread, you know, in the future. And I'll probably refer back to the spreads in here because they're really that good. I really love this book. So there's that. Only other thing I have to share is I have been using these disposable tea filters, and they're great. So times are kind of hard right now for a lot of people, and I've been trying to be a little bit more aware of the resources I have and use what I have instead of buying more things. I'm not against buying things, but I do like to have things that are of value, and I try not to buy things unless I need them or I'm really treating myself, you know, for something. So I have a ton of loose leaf teas right now. Like, I am overstocked on them. Because for convenience, I had been buying tea bags. I drink a lot of tea, but I have been super busy. So instead of making a pot of tea, I've just been using those quick little, you know, tea bags. Well, I want to use more of my loose leaf teas, but I don't really have time right now to stop and make a pot of tea. I have a lot going on. So what I do is I take some time once a week to fill these and take a little string, and I can tie the top of them closed with my loose leaf tea, basically essentially making my own tea bags using what I already have on hand. And these are great. I love them. The other thing that I use them for is bath salts. So you can fill them with your bath salts. Tie a little string around the top of it to close it, and that way any herbs that are in your bath salts, you can just toss it. So, and that is if you don't want to use like the reusable ones. So these are disposable. You know, I happen to have a bunch of these also because I had ordered them once on Amazon thinking I was getting 1 box. I got a huge box of them. So yeah, so I've been using them, using what I had on hand for my many cups of tea a day. I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. So let me know what you think. If you have any kind of videos you'd like me to do, please let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to do that. We've probably in the next couple weeks got a couple Witch's Moon boxes coming up for unboxing, so I'm still getting those. I'm still not subscribing for the most part to other subscription boxes at this time. Just really trying to cut back a lot this year where I can. But still leave myself some, you know, pleasures, and the Witch's Moon boxes are just fantastic. So as long as I can keep getting those, I will be getting those boxes. I'm just looking around my room trying to think if there's anything else I missed. I've been using a lot of quartz, regular quartz lately, so not a lot of really fancy gemstones, just kind of back to the basics. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else to go over. Let me know if there's anything, any books or decks or any content that you'd like me to go over, and I'll be happy to do that. Otherwise, look forward to some more videos coming out this month, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you later.